Welcome back inside the Ontario Tech University Gymnasium for the semi-final, number 2 of the Canadian National Basketball Championships, 15 under men's side. Team Quebec taking on Team Alberta. Both teams coming in with a 2-1 record. J.J. Evison back on the call alongside Haley Hopkinson. Alberta got here by taking down Manitoba, then British Columbia, and a loss to Quebec in overtime, and we're hoping for more of that here today. Meanwhile, Quebec winning that overtime game against Alberta, then a 20-point deficit loss to Ontario, and then they booked their ticket to this semifinal with a win over New Brunswick. Haley, who are the players you're keeping an eye on in this one?
Well, for Quebec, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be Michael Petillon. He is 4th in the entire tournament with steals, having 3.7 per game, 9th in the tournament in points per game with 17, and 4th in the tournament with rebounds with 11. So he can really do it all. He's someone that does do it all very often, and that's definitely someone who I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. There's a ton of guys on this roster who do make a really big impact on this game, especially defensively, looking to Derek Zapata. But I'm going to leave it to Pention to kind of start the charge on that point, and then over to Alberta, it's going to be Kai Newman. He's 10th in the tournament, points per game with 16.3, and 9th with assists per game with 3.3. So he's someone that really handles that offense, and I think both teams here are going to have to not only stay really disciplined here on defense, but offensive output in a high-scoring game that I'm anticipating is going to be really important.
Your officials for this semi-final are Mark Mina Maximus, Kevin Young, and Matt Whipple. Jeremy Gauthier tips it to Petillon. Looking back inside for Gauthier, and that pass interrupted by Mikhail Francis. All the way to the rack. Lucas Thomas hits the deck hard. Zapata with the bounce pass to Carl Balance. That's no good. Alberta back on the offensive. Cohen Deck spinning into the lane. He'll reset it back with Thomas at the top. Coming to set the screen is Tyler McGlisco. Cohen Deck, back iron. Gauthier taps it to La Rosillier. And he's into the front court quickly. Zapata has it in the corner. Back to La Rosillier at the top. Petillon finds Balance inside Gauthier. Forced out of bounds. But the corner three from Zapata opens the scoring 1 minute into the contest.
Well, no one's going to deal with more physicality on this court than Gauthier, of course, and I think that was handled very well by Alberta.
Lucas Thomas from Edmonton. The winner of this game, of course, gets the chance to dethrone Ontario, who just lost to British Columbia, 110-81. The final, Gauthier cleaning up the glass. The fans in attendance and online are looking for a lot more of that from big number 14.
Absolutely, and although I feel like we still haven't seen fully his unlocked potential so far in Nationals, he's still 4th in the tournament in offensive rebounds with 5, so he's gotten off to a quick start, probably the quickest start we've seen in Nationals so far.
Mid-range floater, no. Petillon rebound. La Rosillier looking way ahead. Zapata's there. Fakes the pass to Gauthier. Sees it through. 7-3. Quebec up early. Thomas works around the screen, floats it from the mid-range, back iron, gets his own rebound, dumps it off, and there's contact on the arm of Tyler McGlisco. First foul will go against Quebec, and it will be against Carl Balance.
Balance is 3rd in the tournament for rebounds per game with 11.7. He'll have, if not the biggest, one of the biggest impacts for this team tonight as well. So foul trouble for him, never a good sign to start off.
McGlisco, a 6'4" forward out of Edmonton, Alberta, at the line. He'll knock down the pair, bring it to a 2-point game. Here's Larosilier out of Laval, Quebec. Switches sides with Petillon. Petillon putting the moves on, tries to shake Cohen Deck. Gauthier with the rebound and the putback. Jeremy Gauthier saving it all for this semifinal match.
Yeah, definitely off to a great start. And that's definitely something he didn't have the biggest presence in the first meeting between these two, but that could be a massive difference maker.
Count the basket and the foul. Cohen Deck goes around the big man and lays it in off the glass.
Well, that's the thing. With his height advantage, if he is not absolutely straight up, the refs are going to call him 99% of the time.
Ryan Kaninda checks into the game, 6'6", forward. So a lot of length and wingspan on this Quebec side. Three minutes gone in the first quarter, 11-8 Quebec ahead. Here's Petillon getting underneath the basket. Contact there. Upcoming free throws. And Cohen Deck takes the foul. His first, team's first.
Cohen Deck from Calgary and St. Mary's High School, but a big part and a massive piece of that Genesis basketball that's super prominent and super dominant out in Alberta. And he's done a whole lot for this Alberta team throughout nationals, so another one who we're going to want to see stay out of foul trouble.
Briar Ricci in for Alberta, as is Arseny Kasprick. Francis takes the handoff, moves into the mid-range, kicks it to the corner. Thomas now, the dump off. Kasprick outside. Deck with the catch and shoot, no good. Larosilier collects it. Behind the back, through a couple of blue jerseys to the corner. Back iron, offensive rebound, Josue Gendahimana. He finds the relocating Larosilier, who drains it from distance.
Well, he's so good at pushing the pace, but to see a big scoring side of him too, Quebec will have a lot to work with.
Derek Zapata was draped all over Lucas Thomas. He finds Deck on the wing. Francis now topside, Zapata way too close. Into his grill. It'll be Zapata's first, team's third, with 5:52 left to go in the first quarter.
In the first meeting with these two, day one, I just remember Zapata getting into foul trouble early in the game and having to go to the bench, even though we could tell from the small glimpses we got to see of him, he brought a ton of intensity, especially on defense. So for him to stay disciplined is definitely a key, and it has been since day two of Nationals.
Absolutely a great on-ball defender, staying on the floor. The only problem, no problem for Lucas Thomas, who scoops it with the right. Gendahimana looking for Gauthier inside. An errant pass is a turnover. Alberta ball. Thomas around the screen from Kasprick, finds Francis, catch and shoot, doesn't get the bounce, Balance with the rebound. No numbers for Zapata, he slows it up, then finds a lane, kind of off keel and off balance shot, pulled down by Francis. Deck called for it, Left it off the iron. Gabe DeSanka into the front court. Balance over top. Gauthier back to the basket. One dribble out to Balance. Catch and shoot. Flush. The 6'4" forward out of says, you got to guard me on the perimeter. Ricci's got the response.
That's great there. We haven't seen too much of him this early into a game so far, but he's making an immediate impact here with a great shot.
Over top, Gauthier, catch and release. Nice find by DeSanka. Put it right to where the big man was going to be with his hands up. Jack working on the big man, kicks it back out. Mikhail Francis. Mikhail Francis charged with the offensive foul as Carl Balance gets scraped off the floor.
Well, we know he's got a massive impact to this Quebec team on both ends of the ball every single time. And really, he works well with absolutely everybody on this court.
Dominic Ogarek comes in for Alberta alongside Chase Shirley. Michael Petion back on the floor for Quebec as the big man Gauthier heads to the bench. Looking for DeSanka on the inside. Ball knocked to the baseline. 3:36 to go in the opening frame. 5-point game. Quebec shooting 58% from the field early. Catch and shoot from three. That's off the mark. Fighting for the rebound. DeSanka gets it. Attacks the paint. DeSanka inside. Traveling. Violation. A little bit of miscommunication on the far side there between DeSanka, Gendahimana, and Balance.
It's going to be Quebec's third turnover there. Alberta only having one right now, but Quebec winning this rebound battle 9-4 early in this one, and usually the rebounding battle is a telling sign of which team is kind of playing a little bit more careful despite the turnovers going in favor of Quebec.
Francis with the inside-out dribble finds a shooter in the corner. No good for Ogarek. Loose ball on the floor. Petion rips it away from the two fighting for it. Gives it up to DeSanka. No good. Second chance. Same result. Now Alberta have numbers. Petion almost strips Thomas, and they look for McGlisco inside, and he looks for Francis on the outside, and bottle settles with Lucas Thomas, and he drains it from beyond the arc.
Oh, great sequence from him right there on the defensive end. Before that play, did a great job of keeping his body in front of his player, and then comes back with a big three.
Petion picks up the miss. Second chance, no good. Ogarek ahead of the pack. Couldn't handle the hot pass. Finds McGlisco charging down the lane. He drops the shoulder. And that tells the officials exactly what. You can't just bulldoze in, drop your shoulder late into the chest of the defender and walk away like with your hands up in the air confused.
No, but Quebec's done a great job of kind of recognizing that is what they're doing, and definitely doing a good job of standing their ground.
2-point game. Gauthier back into the game for Quebec. Petion catches it in the middle of the key. La Rosillier. What a dump off to Gauthier. La Rosillier's got eyes in the sides and back of his head the way he's been dishing the ball this tournament.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's definitely developed the most for Quebec is their use of Gauthier. We didn't really see that in the first matchup at all. And at the start of that play, if it hadn't ended like that, I was going to say the pass from DeSanka to Petion at the beginning of that play, that's what they got to be giving him, but they found a way to involve him anyways. And when you have a 7'4" player on your team, you got to use him. And I love the way they've been able to do it throughout the later parts of these tournaments.
Here's La Rosilier again at the top. Over to DeSong on the wing, bounce pass, kicked out of bounds. With a guy like Gauthier, 7'4", the bounce pass seems to be the worst option to get it to him.
Well, yeah, because look at where his fingers lie. It's at the hips of everybody else over there, right? Like, I think at that point, and of course it's like you got to use them, but it's also these other Quebec players adjusting to having that size on your team.
La Rosilier tried to get it into Gauthier on the inbound pass. It hit the backboard. Turned the ball over. Instead of sulking about it, he got back, stole the ball, gets the and one opportunity. So La Rosilier's got a pair of assists, a rebound, and 5 points, going for 6 now.
Very strong start for him. But yeah, for Gauthier, the bounce pass would never work. You got everybody else shorter on the court. For him, it's about passing it up high and him not having to drop his arms at all, just square up to the basket.
La Rosilier turns the corner, left hand. Don't let him go left. Alexander Gauthier into the game for Quebec, number 13. He leaves Ogarek in the corner. Gauthier swallows up the loose ball, looks for Desonka, who settles it down over the timeline. La Rosilier working on Thomas. He hands it off to Gauthier. Gauthier finds Petion on the cut. Petion keeps, takes, leaves it short. He had Gauthier on the far side, elected to take it himself. Lucas Thomas into the middle of the floor and fouled by Gauthier. Thomas to the line for a pair. 24-16, 34 seconds left in the opening quarter.
Lucas Thomas and Gauthier both leading their own teams with 8 points here. And yeah, we're seeing some quicker rotation in the first quarter today than we've seen probably previously. Only 3 players for Quebec not able to touch the floor yet. And it's, the exact same for Alberta. So 9-man rotations early in this one. We love to see it. And we got some even scoring here.
Kasper checked back into the game. Ogarek to the bench. So bringing in a little bit more size. Forward in, guard out. La Rosilier finds Desonka on the wing. Alberta maintaining the zone defense. Gauthier dumps it off to La Rosilier, who leaves it off the iron and into the hands of Thomas. Streaking down the floor, right into the path of Kai Newman. Lays it in with the right hand, and Quebec looking to extend this 4-point lead before the expiration of the first quarter time clock. La Rosilier wants Gauthier. He shoots it, misses everything, and at the end of 10 minutes, Quebec lead 24-20 over Alberta, the winner to take on Ontario in the gold medal match. And the team that comes up short will have BC in the bronze medal. We'll step aside for a quarter break and be back with more action. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships live from the Ontario Tech University Gymnasium on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. Ontario through to the championship. Quebec here doubling up Alberta in the rebound category, 16-8. Alberta 5 trips to the line, and they're a perfect 5 of 5. Meanwhile, Quebec just 1 of 3. 10 minutes on the clock until halftime. Mikhail Francis back into the game for Alberta. He takes the handoff from Thomas, turns the corner, elevates finger roll, gets it to go.
He's very, very important to this team. Another Genesis basketball player here, and to get him scoring and get him scoring quick in this one. Didn't have the start that we've seen from him usually, but regardless, he's turning it up in the second quarter.
Kai Newman knocks the ball loose, gets to the other end and finishes the play, all tied up at 24. And Mikhail Francis is grabbing his right calf. That is not a good sign for Alberta fans. Dissanka kicks it out. Petillon working to the left. Kicks it out to Zapata on the wing. He takes his shot and leaves it short. Thomas tries to get around Zapata, hands it off to Newman. That's from way downtown. Here's Petillon turning the corner. The double screen. He elevates from the mid-range, hits the jumper.
Lucas Thomas has done a great job ball handling for this Alberta team, especially with the difficult pressure Zapata's put on him.
Count the basket and the foul for Francis. Again, we're going to keep eyes on that right calf. Didn't seem to prevent him from getting downhill to the rack on that one. Timeout on the floor for Quebec.
Yeah, and since you said that, just taking a look at him off the ball, even if he's in discomfort there when either whoever he's defending has the ball or he has the ball, it doesn't seem like it's affecting him at all. So if he's pushing through something, he's doing a great job of doing that. Of course, making these big plays, and also on defense, not getting lazy, not getting tired or anything like that. But maybe that is why we saw him a little bit less in the first quarter. But regardless, if he's going to have maybe some limited minutes here tonight, he's still making a big impact on the minutes he is on the court.
In case you missed the first time these two teams met, it was an overtime game, 1-point victory. Quebec coming out on top, 69-68. These two teams match up exceptionally well. A lot of in-game adjustments required for Farah Saida and Quebec, and also David Kapinga and Alberta. They bring out Tyler McGlisco after the timeout.
Yeah, and in that first game, it was Quebec who was able to battle back to be able to force it. Alberta kind of letting that game slip away from them in the fourth quarter here. So, of course, that's going to be the number one thing they're trying to avoid and be able to just keep their foot on the gas for an entire 40 minutes here.
9-point lead, Alberta ahead. La Rosillier uses the screen from Kaninda. Foul's called on the play. It's going to go on Petillon. Quebec now 2 team fouls in the quarter. Alberta yet to receive their first. Lucas Thomas looking for the handoff to Francis. He gets ahead of steam. He bobbles it, then finds Kai Newman. McGlisco from distance. No good. Fighting for the rebound was Kasprick. Knocked it into a Quebec player's hands. Kaninda comes to set the screen. La Rosillier likes to work left. Picks up the dribble. Genda Himana, no good. Hand off the other way this time, Francis. Strokes it from beyond the arc, and that's a good decision.
Like we were saying, if he's going to have limited minutes, he's definitely making his time on the floor count with another massive shot from him.
Michael Petion behind the back at the elbow. Has to give it up to La Rosillier, who eyes the net but leaves it short. Alberta out and running again. McGlisco has it on the baseline. Newman steps around his defender, gets to the paint, off glass, no good. Rebound by Kasperick, second chance, no good. Loose ball. Here's Petion. Gets around the first level of defense to the rack, no good. La Rosillier able to keep it alive. Kaninda comes up. La Rosillier throws it from distance off the back of the iron into the hands of Francis. Thomas taking a more measured approach on this offensive possession. Gets by to the corner. Kai Newman, no good. Another offensive rebound by Kasperick. He kicks it out to Lucas Thomas, who puts in another three. 35-26. Alberta up, 6:06 left in the second quarter.
So Alberta 6 for 13 from the three-point line right now. Massive shooting day for them so far.
50% from the two-point area, 38% from distance, and 83% from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Quebec, 40% on 20 shots from the two-point area, 30% on 10 shots from distance, and only 3 free throw attempts. Still out-rebounding Alberta 20-14.
We're seeing low turnovers, though. Only 6 for Quebec and 4 for Alberta. Probably the best numbers we've seen in any game so far in nationals this far. Usually they kind of sneak up on teams in the second half once the halftime break allows some teams to get some adjustments in. But, of course, we're hoping both teams learning a lot here because both teams, regardless of who wins, will be playing for a medal.
Jeremy Gauthier back on the court for Quebec. Chase Shirley seeing some more run here for Alberta. Shirley, the 6'3" forward out of Calgary. No Michael Petion on the floor for Quebec. They bring in Zapata. Here's Balance dancing with it. Jump stop, kicks to the corner. Genda Himana fakes a shot, gets into the lane. Fading away is fouled by Mikhail Francis. It'll be his second personal and Alberta's first of the quarter.
He's going to be the only one on the floor right now with 2 personal fouls, so and not too many fouls in this one early, and if there are, they're pretty well spread out. And Gauthier still leading Quebec in points right now with 8.
Genda Himana makes good. 3-on-2 for Alberta. Newman finds Shirley. Right under the basket with Kasperick, but he couldn't corral the ball. And now La Rosillier looks ahead. Gauthier has position on the block. Collects it, finds Genda Himana. Extra pass to Balance. Splat. And now Alberta sending 2 to Gauthier immediately on the catch. Leaves somebody open on the perimeter that time. Quebec did a good job of finding that guy. Kai Newman gets 2 right back.
Well, absolutely, and for Alberta to put on some taller players, that is the point. To cut him off, especially with him being the leading scorer, but finding that extra person is going to work out very well for them.
Zapata, mid-range, no good. Loose ball, Newman ahead to Francis. Francis loses the handle. It's last touched by Genda Himana. Correction. There's a foul on Genda Himana, team's third, second personal on Josue Genda Himana, 6'1" guard out of Quebec City. Inbound play blocked by Gohier as Shirley was looking to get downhill. Thomas strokes it from deep. Count the basket for the guard from Edmonton. He's going to the line for the rare 4-point play, and Derek Zapata in disbelief.
Oh, Lucas Thomas has a chance to get jumped from 13 to 17 points here, but regardless, leading the entire game with at least 16 points.
And there it is, the rare 4-point play. Quebec keeping the ball on the perimeter. La Rosillier looking for the pass on Gohier. Gohier saying throw it up to the rack.
Well, you've got the tallest on the team and the shortest on the team, with La Rosillier being the only player just under 6 foot at 5'11", but the way they work with each other is so great, and even when they do make those little mistakes, like that forced turnover there, that could have been something, the communication that they have, we can always see it on the court.
Quebec have 5 team fouls for the remaining 4:22. Alberta shooting free throws, and Alberta going to talk about how they want to manage those final minutes up 10. Can they spread this lead into something that Quebec might not be able to come out of?
I think Quebec is still just making some of these unnecessary errors, just little miscommunications here and there, but I definitely do think that they can always make a good push in the second half of the game. We saw that in the first meeting, of course, where they were down double digits as well, and able to power back there, but they are doing a good job of finding the extra man. One thing I do think is, although they're finding that, Gohier does dish the ball nearly immediately. I don't think he's held onto the ball for more than 2 full seconds. When he gets in and realizing that you do have the size and height advantage, if you can just use that one pivot foot and the power that you have with your weight and your height to spin around and square up to the net, you probably have a potentially better look at than anybody else you could pass it to. So maybe that just comes with confidence again. These are 14 and 15-year-olds here, right? But the confidence there could build up a little bit more, and he does always have a better vantage point.
Chase Shirley at the line. Misses on the second, but right there is Kasperick, who's been all over the offensive glass. And another foul against Quebec. Kasperick to the free throw line.
It's going to be his 6th rebound of the game. Now leading the entire game. Pention closely behind him with 5 here, but no, he's done a great job. He's 6'4", but it feels like he plays a lot bigger than he actually is, because he knows how to use kind of his weight to push back and get good positioning. Boxing out.
Another 1-for-2 trip to the line for Alberta. And La Rosillier has it 1-on-4. He takes it the whole way. Gets bailed out with contact on the arm. Kasperick gets called for the foul. So the first foul against Alberta comes at the 4:11 mark of the second quarter. Alberta ahead by 12. Winner to take on Ontario tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. La Rosillier comes up empty. And now here's the leading scorer, Lucas Thomas. Finds a lane into the body of Valance. too strong. La Rosillier bounce pass to Balance, stepping through the lane with the left, no. Another rebound for Kasprick. Might have more than 10 rebounds heading into the half break at this pace.
Absolutely.
Thomas. Shirley. Right back to Thomas. He wants a screen from Kasprick. One dribble to the left. Misses everything. And in comes Michael Petillon.
He's with Lou Dort Elite Basketball Academy. A couple of the guys on Quebec playing together there as well. And also with PK Knights Basketball. So he definitely is in two of the dominant groups on this team where a lot of the team chemistry comes from. So for him to be one of the main players and main guys that kind of runs the court for Quebec makes total sense.
Carl Balance to the rack. Wanted to throw it down. Maybe took off a step too early. Speaking of Lou Dort, still enjoying his summer back home in Montreal. Yep. He was at the tennis match last night. Congratulations to Vicky and Boko. What a performance in Montreal. She took down 4 Grand Slam champions at 18 years old to win the National Bank Open on the court that she practiced on heaps of times growing up. Quebec has 2 through the hoop. Got home and saw the result of the first set there and thought Osaka was going to walk away with it.
Yeah.
Decided against my better judgment to put it on, and thankfully I did so.
Well, absolutely. No, Canada is definitely dominating right now. I'm seeing a ton of posts of course, her and then Summer McIntosh also racking up gold medal after gold medal. So the young talent in Canada definitely taking off. And then you come to an event like this and you're seeing these 14 and 15-year-old basketball prodigies, it all feels like. Everyone working extremely hard to get here. So the future of Canada sports is most definitely in good hands.
Everywhere you look, there's a reminder of the success stories of great Canadian athletes. Last night in Hamilton,
exactly.
Shea Gill just, went to the hospital there to brighten some kids' days. And
got the key to Hamilton. Not sure how many people want the key to Hamilton, but he got it.
I'm sure. Well, you know what? One of his famous quotes is, "I'm from Hamilton."
Yeah.
Genda Himana out to La Rosillier from deep. Deep 2, that is. The Canada Games begin next week out in Newfoundland and Labrador. 17U basketball tournament where, again, Ontario is the defending champs. Wishing all the athletes partaking in that tournament well. Kai Newman puts in 2 more for Alberta, under 2 to go in the opening half. Gauthier to Petillon. He keeps it alive. Gauthier on the wing. No good. Balance with the second chance points, and he leaves it short. Ogarek. Stolen by Petillon. Petillon with the head up, realizes he doesn't have numbers, goes inside out, takes it all the way, blocked by McGlisco. Here's La Rosillier, fakes the pass, steps into the lane, up and under, and McGlisco again. Doesn't want any of that stuff near his rim.
McGlisco has done a fantastic job of really holding his ground in the paint so far, going against a very tall Quebec team overall. A lot more height than just Gauthier.
There's Petillon on the inbound, using his body to create space. Ricci resets with Thomas. Kai Newman comes for the handoff. Picked up by Genda Himana. Ricci behind the back, steps into the lane, left hand, gets his own rebound. Carl Balance snatches that away and gives it up to Genda Himana. Petillon far side, 2-man game. Toe on the line, no good. Logan Thomas. 24 seconds in the quarter, finds McGlisco. Petillon blocks. And now Quebec can hold for the last possession if they choose to, but they're on the fast break, and Petillon keeps, lays it in with the right. Lucas Thomas over the timeline, 6 seconds. Thomas to the left, has a shooter. Newman. In and out at the buzzer, 39-45. Alberta lead in the second semifinal. The winner gets the chance to dethrone Ontario. We'll step aside for the halftime break and be back with third quarter action from Ontario Tech's gymnasium. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our viewers far and wide across this great nation. Alberta ahead of Quebec in the second semifinal, 45-39. Another 20 minutes of regulation. The first time these two sides met, it was a 1-point overtime victory for Quebec. And currently, they're shooting 38% from the field compared to Alberta's 40%. Things are pretty even across the board in terms of the statistical rundown. Haley Hopkinson, my color commentator here with me, JJ Evison. Haley, what are we looking for in terms of some adjustments for Quebec? We saw them use Gauthier very early in this contest. What are you looking for in terms of adjustments for Quebec here in the second half?
I think they got to push the transition a little bit more. They definitely have all of the tools they need to do it, but they've only got 6 fast break points. A lot of their points are coming opportunities, so I think the rebounding is definitely there. We've got a really tight matchup when it comes to rebounding, but the fast break, they've got the speed, they've got the guys. It's about finding that outlet pass and someone taking it as their own goal to get out and be the outlet pass that they need.
Lucas Thomas leads all scorers in the game with 17 points. And it's Larosilier pulling up from the elbow to open the scoring in the second half. Mikhail Francis tries to shake Petillon, steps back, and drains it from distance. We told you we'd keep you updated with that calf tweak for Francis, and he's showing no signs of discomfort as we kick things off in the third quarter. Petillon looking for the response, leaves it short. Francis with the rebound. Out and on the run. Thomas has it far side, calls out the play. Tyler McGlisco comes to Gauthier can't secure the rebound, and it will be Alberta ball. I think he forgot for a second in international basketball you can take it off the rim.
Yeah.
He was playing on NBA rules there. Here's Kai Newman, top side, left alone. Left iron. Derek Zapata has it. He's looking ahead. Turns on the Jets, dumps it off. Carl Balance, up and off the glass.
I think that's a little more of what they need. Maybe not a full breakaway transition type of play, but if you got the mismatch there and can just dish it off, those two work very well together. And Zapata, one of the quickest guys on this court, he's great at ball handling and keeping it all in control.
Newman takes it in. Floater high off the glass. Had to change the trajectory because of Jeremy Gauthier 7'4" frame. And then Gauthier with the rejection on McGlisco. So Gauthier's got 3 rejections. Contest. Larosilier can't make the layup. Going to stay with Quebec.
Gauthier even had his back to him on that rejection.
Francis alters that pass, takes it the whole way, and is fouled by Larosilier. Nothing easy here for Alberta in the third quarter. First team foul is going to go against Larosilier and Quebec. It's his first personal foul as well. He's got 11 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists.
Francis is with Edge Prep High Performance School. We know a ton of guys that were featured in last year's Nationals, especially on the U17 side, being a part of that school. So for him being there, he seems to get a jump on his career, and it clearly shows. He's very dominant. He's got an ideal build for basketball, and wonder if a lot of the guys who went there, we usually sometimes see kind of trickle over to Ontario at some point. So we'll see.
Michael Petillon gets to the rack and lays it in. Edge Prep were the runners-up at the National Preparatory Association Championships. They fell to Royal Crown. And Derek Zapata steps into the lane, gets position, and takes one right in the numbers. Francis picks up the foul. It's the third on Francis. They go back to Petion on the block, and he returns the favor with a charge.
Lucas Thomas doing a great job on both sides of the ball here, recognizing those situations when he has the size disadvantage there, but doing a great job of planting his feet and still leading Alberta in points with 17. And third in rebounds with 4, so making an impact everywhere on this court today.
He shakes La Rosillier, dials it from deep. That hits the back of the iron and through the mesh.
Wow, so he's going to be the only one. 20 points. And Mikal Francis behind him with 12.
Petion sends Thomas to the floor and scores.
Lucas Thomas is 4 for 5 for three-pointers, so we know where that scoring comes from.
He's got time and space, so he dials it up again. That's up the side of the iron. Jeremy Gauthier above the crowd and then some to pick up the rebound. Petion catch, thought about the shot, attacks the paint. Blocked by Francis. Here's Cohen Deck trying to find space inside. One-touch pass. Francis from deep, no. Well short on that attempt. Gauthier runs the floor, has position. Petion with his shoes untied. Can't sink that from distance. Blocked on the backside by Zapata, and if he's not careful, he's going to get teed up for Taunton. Now Rosillier step through, left hand, off the glass, no good. Kai Newman has it now. Lucas Thomas going to see if he's got the hot hand, and that's 2 misses in a row from deep from Thomas.
Back and forth here. We're seeing everyone kind of start to slow down here, aside from La Rosillier.
Our producer, Nick, missed his opportunity to get 2 hands on the ball there. It's been a long 5 days. Francis to inbound. Here's Cohen Deck. And awareness now starting to creep in, or unawareness. An 8-second backcourt violation. Just not the appropriate ball the timeline.
No, he took a good amount of time trying to get open there, but decisiveness, like you say, in this age group sometimes can be a little low, so figuring out what they want to do with these plays quicker, they'll cause less turnovers.
The pass out of the hands of Alex Gauthier was looking to go to the far side. Instead, it goes off the side of the backboard and out of bounds. So Alberta have a chance to add to their lead, up 53-49.
Yeah, and we're just about halfway through the third quarter here, and neither team in double digits of turnovers, both sitting at 9 right now. Something, again, we have not seen throughout this national, so both teams doing a much better job of taking care of the ball and forcing some less errors.
Loose ball falls to the hands of Balance, and Zapata has it on the near side, calls the play, gets to his spot, elevates, and all of his shots have been just short today.
Yeah, better job adjusting here, but this mid-range we haven't seen too much of throughout the tournament, so trying to unlock something before a potential medal game, whether it's gold or bronze tomorrow. The adjustment period is definitely right now.
2-on-1. Zapata keeps, takes, lays it in. Francis, just let him have the lane. Kai Newman steps into the mid-range. That's too strong. Josue Gendahimana to Zapata. Gauthier, no. Cohen Deck has the screen from Kasprick. Gets by Gauthier. Floater off the iron into the hands of Kasprick, who is just a dog on the offensive glass there. 9th rebound of the contest for Kasprick. 6 of them offensive. As Petion and Kaninda check into the game, Gabriel Gasanka keeps the ball for himself and floats it in for 2. All knotted at 53, 3:30 left to go in the third quarter. The entry pass intercepted. Zapata has it on the run, keeps the whole way, and gets the friendly roll, taking it right to the chest of McGlisco. Timeout, Alberta. They've given up the lead, trail by 2.
9 points for Zapata. 3 rebounds and an assist, but it really feels like he's done even more than that. It feels like he's been absolutely all over the court this entire time, and he's definitely doing a good job of keeping the intensity levels high in this game and pushing the pace nicely for Quebec.
Alberta shooting nearly as many threes as they are from inside the three-point line. 29 two-point field goal attempts and 24 from distance. They're shooting at 37% from outside and just 27% from inside.
It's Larosilier right now for Quebec, who's their leading scorer, tied with Michael Pention with 13 each. And I believe over in the corner we're seeing Carl Balance. I believe that's the...
It is Carl Balance getting some work done.
I think on his ankle maybe there.
Looks like the right ankle.
It looks like, if I'm not mistaken, we're a little far here. Maybe they're just wrapping it up for him to get back into this, as we're seeing his sock or something go back on. So hopefully he's able to come back on the court for Quebec and is all good.
Lucas Thomas is back. No good. 2 white jerseys collide, going for the rebound. It's Zapata and Petion. $14 on the shot clock for Alberta. Francis on the far wing, picked up by Genda Himana. They're going to swing it around the outside. 6 seconds left. Cohen Deck gets swallowed up by 2 white jerseys. Petion has it the other way, working on Francis. The screen for Genda Himana to find Petion top of the key. Spinning at the free throw line, elevates, shoots, misses left. Larosilier got to the scorer's table late, so he will not be able to check in until the next available opportunity. Lucas Thomas hands it off to Briar Ritchie. Now to Meek Francis. Tries to step through the lane, doesn't get it to go. Got hit on the quad.
Ryan Kaninda did a great job of some help defense there, switching seamlessly.
Zapata swirls one around. Doesn't fall. Here's Francis. McGlisco gets assaulted by Zapata, who's going for the swipe. And the 6'4" forward out of Edmonton is going to head to the free throw line for a chance at 2. Let's tie this thing back up.
And that's going to be Zapata's 3rd personal foul here. believe that'll be the most out of everyone on Quebec. And on the other side is Francis sitting with 3 as well, but he's done a good job of staying disciplined here to not rack any more up. But yeah, the fouls spread pretty evenly, but again, we're not actually seeing too many chances at the line for anybody. Alberta, this is going to be their 13th and 14th attempts here. Before Quebec, only 7 attempts, so not too many fouls, everyone doing a good job, and I think that is because we've seen how foul trouble on both of these teams throughout Nationals has really affected the results of their game. Quebec, definitely from the very start, with Zapata having to sit out, and we've seen some key players like Francis for Alberta getting some foul trouble in this tournament as well.
Catch and shoot. La Rosillier's off the mark. Disanka can't put the second chance points in. Thomas. Long strides. McGlisco comes up short. Petillon, all sorts of time. Just too strong. Deck tries to turn the corner, kicks it back out. Ritchie 3, no good. 60 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's a 1-point game. La Rosillier wants Caninda. The screen comes, the switch happens. Petillon's left alone in the middle of the key, squares up, kicks it out. Genda Himana is not going to shoot that, so he gives it back to Petillon. He works to the left and lays it in. It's 2-for-1 opportunity now for Alberta. Quebec applying the pressure. Thomas moves into the front court, kicks it. Ritchie inside, left-hand hook shot, swirls around but doesn't fall. Disanka all the way, nearly uncontested until Mikhail Francis came over for the swat attempt. Ritchie from the corner drains the 3. Genda Himana at the expiration of the third quarter collides with Ritchie. No call on the play, 2-point game with 10 minutes left in regulation. We'll step aside for the quarter break and be back with fourth quarter action. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships live on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. Ten more minutes of regulation basketball here in the second semifinal. The winner to take on Ontario. The loser will head to the bronze medal match against British Columbia. Alberta stuck 2, but have possession to start the second half.
Well, for Alberta, only 14 points in the paint for them. Majority of their points coming from around the perimeter. 10 for 26 from the three-point line. 5 of 8 of those coming from Lucas Thomas. 2 for 3 from Briar Ricci. So some great shooting from them, and for it to not all come from the paint is great, especially when you're going against a really tall team like Quebec.
Ryan Kaninda there to collect the rebound and the putback on the second chance opportunity. 6'6" forward. Got that arm wingspan of about 7'1". Francis pulls up. No. Petillon collects the rebound. He working down the left-hand side. Gets by Thomas. Picked up by Francis. Shoves him out of the way. Francis frustrated on that. Thomas looking for a lane. Turns the corner. Picks up the ball. Francis comes to bail him out. Thomas, catch and shoot. No good. Fighting for the rebound is Kai Newman. And Michael Petillon touches it last to Alberta basketball. Baseline out of bounds as Derek Zapata comes back into the game for Quebec. Matt Larosilier will go to the bench for Alberta. Chase Shirley into the game. Briar Ricci will get a breather. Foul on Gabe DeSanka on the inbound pass for the hold. Otherwise, Kai Newman had a direct path to the basket. Nice back cut. Way to finish the play, Arseny Kasprick. He's earned a couple of looks on the offensive side, given his offensive rebounding in this game.
Absolutely. 9 rebounds, 3 assists, now getting 3 points there. And yeah, getting him to use that size for some offense as well. Could end up on double-double watch real soon.
Petillon gets another rebound and a putback for 2. Thomas around the first line of defense. Kicks it to the corner. Charging baseline, Kai Newman from the wing. That falls from distance.
So it's going to be 11 for 28 now. Alberta attempting 27 three-pointers, with Quebec attempting 18, but only connecting on 4 of those.
Thomas playing good defense on Genda Himana. Zapata with the dump off. Kaninda with the floater. Thomas turns on the Jets. Kicks to the corner. Newman doesn't have a shot. Brings it back out. Finds Francis. Picked up by DeSanka. Stolen. Count the basket and the foul. Meek Francis reaching over the top.
Well, that's going to be his 4th personal foul here, and he likes to assume the responsibility to be the one to get back. And we know that he's got enough of the defensive skill to put an effective stop to that play without the foul, but the change in pace, like we've been saying a lot about this Quebec team, has led to a lot of trips to the line for them. And after we saw Carl Belance getting his ankle worked on, it looks like he's back in the game now, so nothing too serious, probably just working something out there, but I believe it was Kaninda who came in for him when he did go to the bench, but Kaninda's having a fantastic performance in this game with 6 points and 4 rebounds, so it makes no sense to have to push him out.
Petillon grabs another board. He inches closer to a double-double. 17 points. The pass unable to be saved on the over and back. Quebec ahead by 9. Briar Ricci's checking back into the game. Arseny Kasprick will go to the bench. Here comes Cohen Deck the other way. Possession by possession. Alberta are letting Quebec know that they are not going anywhere. It's a 40-minute game. Dissanka squares up. No good. Kaninda, instead of going up with it, looked for Balance. And Lucas Thomas has it in the front court for Alberta. McGlisco, one dribble. Back to Thomas. Thomas off the mark on the three. Here's Petillon working down the left-hand side, picked up by Cohen Deck. Ball worked around the perimeter, gave Dissanka, no, Petillon, another offensive rebound. That's the double-double. How about that for a pretty little lay-in? Gabe Dissanka didn't even look at the rack, just put a little mustard on the ball and it fell through. Cohen Deck gets the double rim. Touchdown pass, unable to be corralled by Dissanka. And Michael Petillon wants that pass back, realizing that clock management going to play a huge part of the end of this game.
It absolutely will. This is pretty much a very similar situation we had last time. Just if the roles were reversed here, we had Quebec trailing by 10 and a little less here and there, but now it's Alberta in a different situation, and hopefully that three-point shooting doesn't slow down here and they can try to compete and make this a really tight game for the few minutes remaining.
Kai Newman stepping through, kicks it back out to Shirley. Cohen Deck relocating. 4 on the shot clock. Petillon up in his grill. Shot is off, and Kaninda corrals the rebound. 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. 9-point game. Balance works it back to the wing, and now La Rosilier up top. So shifty and great with the ball. Balance, 2 on the shot clock. Petillon has to let it go. Bottom. Go Petillon, having the game of the tournament for himself.
And he's at that double-double now with 12 rebounds and going to be at 22 points, leading the entire game that Lucas Thomas was leading for quite a while in this one.
Cohen Deck dumps it off. McGlisco up top. No good. Loose ball. Balance with the rebound. Again. 4 on 3 for Quebec. La Rosilier will throw it high off the glass and get it to go. Alberta want a timeout. 14-point game. 4:01 left in the fourth quarter. This one inching towards a very different final few minutes than the first time these two sides met.
Oh, it absolutely is, and that's the thing. Quebec has been able to throw a little bit of everything at Alberta in this game. Tons of points coming from the paint for them, transition points, fast break points, using that three-pointer like we just saw. But as for Alberta, a heavy part of their game has come from that three-point shot. So in difficult and stressful times, like nearing the end of the game down by this, if that shot's not hitting, they're left with limited options compared to Quebec.
Alberta do still have Mikhail Francis on the bench. He's only got one foul to give before he fouls out of the game.
Yeah, I do believe before that timeout he was getting ready to check in, kneeling beside the scores table with a assistant coach beside him, giving him final pep talk here. He wants to be obviously as effective as possible, but not taking himself out of this game too quick with a foul.
There was a point in the Ontario-British Columbia game where we were counting the possession wins. And this is what's kind of transpiring here. Alberta looking to stack possession wins.
Yeah.
And it starts with the offensive possession here with Francis inbounding the ball. Quebec with a pretty firm press. Thomas around it. Coughs it up. So, La Rosillier turns the corner, turns on the Jets, kicks it out. Petillon. They got away with the travel, gets to the rack, second chance opportunity. So there it is. Another offensive rebound and putback from Michael Petillon, who really took this game over in the second half.
Absolutely. 13 rebounds, 24 points. If Quebec is able to close this one out and head to the gold medal game and give Ontario a run for their money here, we've got a real potential MVP candidate. And he's been great this entire tournament. He was a clear standout from day one, but he's only gotten stronger and stronger as the competition has gotten harder and harder.
Catch and shoot, Francis, no good. Soaring in for the rebound was Kasprick. He couldn't get it. Jump ball called. Quebec have the possession arrow. So Quebec's journey so far in this tournament was that 1-point loss to Alberta, then a 20-point loss to Ontario. Yesterday they beat New Brunswick 66-53 in a game that was a lot closer than the final score was showing. With a win here, they will be in the gold medal match against Team Ontario unless Alberta draws something up to change the final 3 minutes of this game. 16-point lead. Cohen Deck drills the three, and there's a little bit of life. Still some subdued energy from Alberta's bench, but that three changes what they might be able to do here in the final 2 minutes, 54 seconds.
It absolutely does, and with the chance at a gold medal on the line here, some extra energy is definitely going to be needed from the Alberta side of this game here. But yeah, that three-point shooting, it's come in clutch, but it also, down the stretch, has potentially hurt them, relying on it a little bit too much throughout this game to keep it tight. We'll see where they are now. Yeah, only 18 points in the paint compared to a 54 points in the paint coming from Quebec. 21 second chance points for Quebec, 12 for Alberta. And yeah, both teams, aside from those main kind of key differences with the points in the paint, Quebec's had a 10-point scoring run. Alberta's had an 11-1. They're matched pretty evenly when it comes to the amount of chances. At the free throw line, rebounding is kind of going now more towards Quebec, 57-41. And again, when you see those main differences of in the paint, which are ultimately usually coming a lot quicker than the three-point attempts are, especially from this team. When we were just in our previous game watching BC versus Ontario, for BC, when they're shooting a three, they had a really quick trigger. Alberta is a little bit slower, and of course you're waiting for the right opportunity to come along, but it's costly in the end of it.
Zapata gets it over the timeline. Double team turnover. Cohen Deck, spin move at the timeline, feeds Francis. Francis throws it down with two hands. Michael Petillon now into the paint. Another turnover. Maglisco gets hands on it. Cohen Deck gives it up. Thomas to the rack. Blocked by Petillon. They're going to call a foul on the play. Back-to-back turnovers for Quebec at a time when they need to be taking care of the ball and managing the clock. Head coach Faris Saida looking for his team to grip it a little tighter.
This is a big break, big opportunity here. 2 minutes and 16 left on the clock. Absolutely crazier things has happened. This could turn into a very close game. A stop and a three-pointer, and then you're looking at an insanely different game here.
Alberta have one in the backcourt. They're going to pressure the inbound pass. La Rosillier accepts it. Quickly to Genda Himana. La Rosillier finds Disanka on the near side. Turned over again. Francis keeps it alive. Lots of bodies being sprawled on the floor, and Michael Petillon dismisses Lucas Thomas with one hand, and that's going to be the final. Oh, that's just his fourth personal.
Yep. But that's the last foul Quebec's going to be able to give up here before sending them out to the line, and it's him and Disanka both playing with difficult fouls here.
Kai Newman gets away with a push. The floater is good. La Rosillier tried to sell it. Maybe it was just marginal contact. Regardless, 80-73. It's a 7-point game, under 2 to go. On the line, a spot in the championship game. And the chance to take down the reigning champs, Team Ontario. Alberta comes out of their huddle with a belief in each other to get to this gold medal game.
Quebec basketball.
Michael Petillon to trigger the inbound. Everybody knows it's going to La Rosillier. They swarm him in the corner. He steps through, gives it up. It's 2-on-1. Petillon calmly to Balance. Balance sees it through.
That was good. The pass was almost even a little late coming to Balance, with Alberta players able to swarm around.
Thomas the other way gets the 2 right back.
Now he's tied with Petillon for leading this game in points, both of them with 24.
Alberta going to stand on their defense here. Disanka picks it up, finds Petillon. Traveling. Good closeout by Cohen Deck.
Now, best case scenario here, potentially make it a 4-point game. We know Alberta loves that 3-point shot.
Underneath the basket, Kai Newman on a great play to get Mikhail Francis open and on the run. La Rosillier throws it away. Mikhail Francis quickly ahead. Newman again off the glass and through. One possession game. Quebec just unable to keep the ball in their team's hands. Meek Francis with the steal and fouled on the dunk attempt. He comes up rather quickly, going to head to the free throw line. How about that steal by Mikhail Francis? Just well timed, those long arms. Rips it away from Josue Gendahimana.
Absolutely fantastic there, and to think that beginning of the game we thought that he possibly could have some limited minutes here with his calf looking like it was bugging him, but he's all good, and these are some of the most important free throws. Of course, you think in that situation maybe a layup is easier, but to get some guaranteed contact, the dunk attempt worked out in his favor.
Tell a neighbor, call a friend, let him know Alberta, Quebec's coming down to the wire. More pressure from Alberta. Disanka turns back. La Rosillier ahead to Petillon. Balances on the backside. Petillon getting to the rack. Kai Newman slows it down. Thomas trying to shake Disanka. Ball finds its way to the hands of Francis. He works back to the middle. Newman back to Francis. 14 seconds. Francis dials it. Front iron. There for the rebound. Kai Newman finds Cohen Deck. It's a deep two if it goes. It doesn't. And now Alberta has to foul. Tyler McGlisco claiming it's a jump ball, recognizing that the possession arrow was favoring Alberta. 3.7 seconds left in the game. And Alberta are a few fouls away from putting Quebec on the line. So very tough position to be in.
It absolutely is. We've seen Alberta do a good job of kind of throwing off the ball handler, whoever it may be, for Quebec, usually Le Rosselier. But with such a little amount of time on the clock here, just under 4 seconds, you're going to have to intercept it right at the inbounds play. So try to force that turnover, of course, but we just saw Quebec play some incredible defense, doing a great job of not letting Alberta get a good look off for that three-point shot. And the rebounding was there from from Alberta, but of course, less than 4 seconds here. There's not a whole lot of time for much, because if you do get the rebound, kicking it out for another attempt might not be enough time there. The putback is there, but it is a three-point game at the end of the day, and that's going to be the main point here for Quebec. If they do get another look and a second chance, you can't foul. So
Quebec choose to advance the ball past the timeline, and it benefits Quebec to get the ball deeper into Alberta's territory to prevent any sort of attempt. Jesse Gakuba, the 6'5 forward out of Edmonton, will come in to play defense on the inbound pass.
He is 6'5", the tallest on this team, so great choice there.
Genda Himana. Disanka accepts it at the timeline. The foul is committed. A lot of time coming off the clock, only 1.5 seconds remaining. Quebec just have to get it in. And they throw it to the far side. Valance accepts it, is fouled with 0.2 remaining. They may add a hair to that, but
last remaining hope here for Alberta, intercepted and heave it up. But regardless, how great is it to have another game come so close to the wire in the semifinals? This has definitely been a fan favorite matchup, getting a ton of viewers on our first stream of this matchup, and of course the last one here.
La Rosselier does the smart thing, throws it off the knee of Arseny Kasprick to waste time on the clock. Officials are actually at the scores table. They're going to add time back. There was 0.2 on the clock, and I think they're going to make it 0.1. So La Rosselier can do the same thing if he chooses. And if 0.1's the only thing that's coming off the clock, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So here it is. La Rosselier throws it in. Ball gets touched. Game over. Quebec will take on Ontario for the gold medal game. Alberta, hard-fought battle, going to take on British Columbia for the bronze.
Yeah, so we've got a rematch of last year's U15 finals, but this is a fantastic matchup here. Definitely the closest battle we've been able to see from the very start to the very end of these two head-to-head. And for Alberta, you absolutely have to give credit to their phenomenal three-point shooting tonight. 12 for 32. Of course, a big portion of that coming from Lucas Thomas, 5 for 10. Briar Ritchie, 2 for 3. It was a hard-fought battle. And yeah, I really can't speak highly enough about this matchup here, and I'm very excited to see how Quebec can then, after getting 2 wins off of Alberta, what they can bring to another matchup against Ontario, where they lost the first one, and how much stronger they're going to be able to come out in the gold medal game.
We appreciate all our viewers from coast to coast, from everybody here at Sports Canada TV. For Haley Hopkinson, I'm JJ Evison saying, if you got nothing on the go tonight, Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw on the mound out in L.A. Jays back after a one-day absence. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow for the bronze and gold medal matches.